First, I'm going to start by knocking all the hair down with the number 3 clip, also known as the 3/8 on the wall. I'm using my Wall Magic Clip cordless clipper. I'm just going to knock it all down. I like to knock the hair down first so I can see what I'm cutting. Sometimes people just go in and make their harsh guidelines with the hair long. You can't really see what you're cutting. I like to have everything nice and neat. Make sure you're always going in against the grain motion. When you're knocking the hair down, that's real long and bulky. After you've knocked your hair down, the hair down on your customer, go ahead and go and dust them off. Everything nice and neat. Alright, so right now I'm going to use my Wall Magic Clip cordless. I'm closing it up. I'm going to make my first guideline. He's getting a mid fade, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it 1 finger above his ear, 1 to 2 fingers above his ear. He actually has a pretty small head, so that's why I'm only going 1 finger. Right now I'm going to be using my retro T-cut, my wall cordless. I'm going to go underneath that first guideline that I put. So that was actually a 0, a regular 0. Now we're getting into the double zeros here. Just go ahead and put in the guideline. I always work this way so I can avoid putting in the real harsh guidelines that's hard to get out, or you're sitting there fighting to get the line out. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up my clipper and go up 1/4 of an inch, making a new guideline. So I'm going to put in a guideline and take it out, put in a guideline and take it out. 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch increments. I close it up halfway and go ahead and jab out that first line that I put in there. Once you've jabbed it out halfway, just go ahead and close it back up and do touch-up work right underneath it. After I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and put my half guard on there, my 1/16, and do the same thing. You're just going to go up 1/4 of an inch. Once I've done that, you go ahead and close it up. And you just jab at that line. So now I'm going to use my number 1, my 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to go ahead and make another 1/4 of an inch guideline and take out the guideline. Take out the previous guideline. Remember, it's open now. I'm just going all the way around the head, keeping my clipper open, going up 1/4 of an inch. Once I've made that, I'm going to go ahead and close it halfway and just jab out that line, staying underneath my guideline I just previously put in. Once I've hit it halfway, I'm going to then close my clipper up all the way. This is open, this is closed. Close it up all the way. And then just use the corner of the teeth and corner of the blade and go ahead and go all the way around. Notice I never really use the full length of the blade. I only use the corners to fade. Now I put my half back on, my half guard back on, closed up. I'm just using the corner of the teeth. Go ahead and go back and do some touch-up work before I move on to the next step. Making sure I achieve that nice smooth blend every aspect. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my 1 1/2, also known as my 3/16, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same process, 1/8 of an inch, taking it 1/8 of an inch up, a 1/4 inch. Remember, my clipper, my lever is all the way open. Once I've hit it all the way open, now I'm gonna go with the clipper closed and just jab out that line. Remember, using the corner of the blade. Just jabbing it out, always going against the grain. Now I'm going to put my number 1 back on, and with the corner of the blade, I'm gonna go back and do touch-up work to make sure I'm achieving a nice smooth blend. Now I'm gonna go with the number 2 and hit all this up here. This is a number 3, so I'm blending it all in with the number 2, making it all come together. My number 2 is closed up all the way. Just flicking it out. After I hit it with the number 2, I'm gonna go back with my 1.5 and go ahead and knock out all this line here. 1.5 open. Right now I'm gonna use my shave spray, shave solution, but I Love Being a Barber. I'm actually sponsored by them. Now I'm just going with my retro T-cut, and I'm just going and jabbing out that recent line that I put in, shaving the head down. Remember, I'm turning it upside down and just jabbing it out with the corner of the blade, making sure I just continue to achieve the smooth blend. Here I'm using my Andes T outliner. Just to go ahead and give it that nice touch-up work. Let's get slightly closer than the retro T-cut. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and do his lineup. Once again, I'm using my retro T-cut. I'm just going to try to keep his lineup as natural as possible. He has some scars in the front of his head I have to deal with, so what I like to do, I like to work from the middle and go ahead and work from to the right or to the left. No specific direction. Do one side and then I come back and do the other side. So I Love Being a Barber aftershave tonic. I'm actually going to use and just spray it around the head wherever I did the cut. This is our premium dust powder.
Yeah. 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 Oh my.